The London Student Assembly will be meeting again on Sunday to discuss the next movements for the movement. This is a democratic forum for any student to come along to and debate and decide for themselves what next for the student movement. We will also be holding meetings with other people from other sectors that aren't students necessarily, and we'll be working out how we can combine our forces together with trade unionists, with people that are unemployed, people that are on housing benefit. And as we've said, the students have inspired the movement, they are leading the movement, and we're hoping that this gives the confidence to other people to also resist and come on board with us. Of course there are demonstrations, and I imagine there are going to be a whole series of further actions, direct actions, further occupations, and I think in the new year we will see this rise tenfold. This is just the beginning.
Are you genuinely saying that you've not, in that consultation period with the student body, had any of them raising concerns about the way these demonstrations have been turning out?
Everybody that comes to the meeting plans how best we can have a peaceful, safe protest, and we are looking after ourselves and defending ourselves against the police, and it's been brilliant to see 14-year-olds actually engaged in some form of democratic process, which they've not been listened to for years.
Well, there is grave concern actually in the movement, and that's with the tactics of the police, and that's with saying, why are we having 14-year-olds who peacefully want to save their futures being kettled for 9, 10, 12 hours in freezing cold temperatures? So yeah, there is a very good concern about those tactics and the way things are going. Very concerned.
Can I just add as well, we would also want to call for a national student assembly, so we're hoping that students across the country also set up assemblies in their own areas. That will be sometime in the beginning of January, we think, and then we'll also be hopefully holding a European student assembly. This is just starting to be planned now.
If I can say, can I just say a word about the NUS as well? Because we want the NUS to support student occupations practically, to support radical direct action, and to support national protest. NUS abdicated their responsibility. They did not back the protest on Thursday. They had a candlelit vigil which was very poorly attended. I think NUS needs to live up to its members, live up to the students who are getting involved, organising, and actually practically support that. If NUS is an organisation that's going to be helping the condemned government talk about where they should be cutting things and cutting the most vulnerable grants to the most vulnerable students, shame on them. I'm a member of the executive of the NUS, and I want us to go forward and organise another national demo in the new year, and hopefully we'll be putting those proposals to NUS in due course. Mark?
It has become very clear that the students do not find themselves in isolation of the rest of the trade union movement. The NUT, the National Union of Teachers, is balloting over pensions and could be shutting down the education sector, primary schools and the rest of it. We also have seen how the UCU is balloting both in FE and HE in the coming year, and it seems very likely that those two unions will be coordinating their actions. As the student lecturers have been standing shoulder to shoulder with us, we will be standing shoulder to shoulder with the campaign and with the industrial action taken by our lecturers and by any sector in the movement. We also are looking into calling days of action, as has been said before, and most importantly, I believe, is the fact that the TUC has called on the 26th of March, has called a national demonstration. That national demonstration by the TUC should be attended and will be attended by more than 1 million of people across the country, and that will be a launch board for a campaign and a call for a general strike.
Can I just say that we've received some urgent information that is rather sensitive. We've just received information that one of our students is now in hospital having surgery on their brain. We would like to send out our messages messages to their family, and that we will be with them, and hopefully we can support them through these tough times. And obviously any harm to our students is on the head of the police, and they will be feeling the full force of the student movement, and we urge them to desist in their violence. 2 years ago in Greece, we saw 15-year-old student Alexandros murdered by the police in Exarchia in Athens, and begun what is now known as the December uprisings. I do feel that here in Britain we are going to see much more of what we've seen in the last few weeks.
And just to close, I'd say that you know, this is the beginning of a very exciting movement. We've seen mass mobilisation of people at very short notice. We've seen young people taking ownership of the movement. We've seen occupations across the country. This can only increase. The solidarity between students and workers can only increase. It's a very exciting time. We may have lost the vote yesterday, but we are confident that we can defeat this government. This government does not have a sound footing. It does not have the backing of the British people. It does not have a proper mandate. And together, students and workers, the unemployed, the disabled, pensioners, those feeling the lash of these cuts, can defeat it. I would ask the British public to look at the reality of the cuts, look at the reality of what happened yesterday in the 14-year-olds who were police charged, look at the realities of the benefit cuts and how they will affect people, and then I'm confident that the British people will back our actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.